FX's The Old Man premieres June 16th on FX. Stream on Hulu.
I know you remember it.
Your name is on the memorial wall of the very building you attacked. I will have it struck off. Soon, your past will be as non-existent as your future.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 action movies where the villain wins.
We took out Cyberdyne over 10 years ago, but we stopped Judgment Day.
You only postponed it. Judgment Day is inevitable.
For this list, we're looking at various action movies in which the hero loses and the villain emerges triumphant. We will not be including superhero movies, so Thanos' decimation of half the universe will not be found here.
You should have gone for the head.
And obviously, if you haven't seen these films, a spoiler alert is now in effect. Which of these endings did you find the most shocking? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. On Her Majesty's Secret Service. This has always been a standout within the James Bond canon.
This never happened to the other fella.
Not only was it the first movie without Sean Connery, but it's also significantly darker than most of the series. Its ending in particular has received much attention throughout the decades, and for good reason.
The toast is the bride and bridegroom, Mr. and Mrs. James Bond.
Bond hunts Blofeld throughout much of the film, but unlike other entries in the franchise, he doesn't die in a spectacular shootout. Instead, he crashes the wedding of Bond and Tracy, and commits a drive-by shooting with Irma Bunt.
First a boy, and then a girl.
Tracy is killed, and Bond is left a broken man. It was an extremely gutsy ending for a Bond film, and it resulted in the movie being ostracized by the fanbase. Number 9. G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra. The ending of The Rise of Cobra was mostly used to set up the events of Retaliation. And, much like Infinity War, it contained a very dark and downbeat ending as a result.
Till we get those things out of your head, looks like you're gonna be seeing a lot of me around here.
You can't save me, Duke. No one can, not after all I've done.
G.I. Joe is successful in capturing the Commander and Destro, but McCullen comes out on top by placing Zartan in the White House. With the help of nanomites, Zartan is able to take the physical appearance of the president and fools everyone into believing that he is their leader.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all so much.
The movie effectively ends with the White House infiltrated by the bad guys and McCullen one step closer to establishing his new world order. It's called The Rise of Cobra for a reason. Number 8. Inglourious Basterds. Hans Landa is one of the most despicable villains in movie history. And to think, he mostly gets away with everything.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Is that the way you say it? That's a bingo.
You just say bingo. Bingo! How fun!
In a shocking turn of events, Landa betrays the Nazi Party and helps kill Hitler in exchange for freedom in America. And aside from his new forehead scar provided by Aldo Rain, the plan completely works. In America, Landa will live as a free man on Nantucket Island and will be rewarded with multiple distinctions.
I want to receive the Congressional Medal of Honor for my invaluable assistance in the toppling of the Third Reich. In fact, I want all the members of Operation Kino to receive the Congressional Medal of Honor.
He might even be regarded as a war hero, because he did help end World War II. Perhaps the worst thing about Landa is that he is incredibly smart, and it helps him get away with everything.
And that pretty little nest you feather for yourself. Well, if you're willing to barbecue the whole high command, I suppose that's worth certain considerations.
Number 7. Gangs of Wasseypur. An Indian crime epic spanning over 5 hours. Gangs of Wasseypur centers around the coal mafia of Dhanbad and the interconnected web of criminals, law enforcement, and corrupt politicians it contains.
नाम का है तुम्हारा?
Definite.
Definite का है?
काहे कि हमारा मकसद हमको definite हो गया है.
का है तुम्हारा मकसद?
सरदार खान की मौत.
Owing to its intimidating length, the movie was split into 2 parts, and the latter half ends in quite a downbeat fashion. J.P. Singh is the ultimate chess master, and rigs power for himself by letting the hero, Faisal, kill his father, Ramadir. Faisal is then killed by the main villain, Definite. The cycle of revenge is complete, and the wrong people come out on top. Granted, that is typically how it works in a corrupt society.
वासेपुर को फैजल के जाने से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा, ना ही रामाधीर के मरने से। वो तब भी कुरुक्षेत्र था, और आज भी कुरुक्षेत्र है, और शायद हमेशा रहेगा।
Number 6, Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. The first two Terminator movies ended on optimistic notes of hope and redemption. Not Terminator 3. The third film in the legendary franchise is all about trying to prevent that which is unpreventable: Judgment Day.
The Mojave area will sustain significant nuclear fallout. You will not survive.
You know, the thing John thought he prevented at the end of Terminator 2. Skynet tricks its creators and becomes active, prompting the titular rise of the machines.
Power failure?
No, I don't know what it is.
The malicious program launches nuclear warheads throughout the globe, killing billions and starting the apocalyptic war that will seal the fates of John, Kyle, Sarah, and the various Terminators.
I should have realized our destiny was never to stop Judgment Day. It was merely to survive it.
Maybe time can't be altered after all. What a bummer. Number 5, The Great Escape. Real life contains many unhappy endings, and this was one of them.
You aren't seriously suggesting that if I get through the wire and case everything out there and don't get picked up, to turn myself in and get thrown back in the cooler for a couple of months so you can get the information you need? Yes.
The Great Escape is based on the historic breakout from Stalag Luft 3 during World War II. In March of 1944, 76 prisoners of war escaped the concentration camp, resulting in its designation as the Great Escape. However, only 3 actually got away.
Glad to see you're all safe.
Thank you, sir. How many have been brought back?
You're the first.
You know how many got away, sir?
Not yet.
The rest were recaptured and taken back to the camp, and 50 of the 73 were executed on Hitler's order.
How many? 50.
That included the leader of the operation, Roger Bushell. And while John Sturgis's masterpiece fictionalized much of the story, it kept the tragic ending intact. Number 4, Skyfall. To celebrate its 50th birthday, the James Bond franchise released a film in which 007 loses. Happy birthday! Raul Silva is the movie's main villain, and he concocts an elaborate plan to kill M for a supposed betrayal that occurred years earlier. In an act of great subversion, Bond remains one step behind the villain throughout the entire movie.
What's going on? Why are the doors open?
He is nothing but a pawn in Silva's game, and nearly everything he does throughout the story helps Silva to some degree. And no matter how badass he is in that final battle, Bond fails in saving M from Silva, and she dies in his arms.
I should get one thing right.
Even though the villain doesn't survive, he still wins. Number 3, 300. Zack Snyder's outrageous action movie contains another story beholden to history. Yes, the film is essentially a work of fantasy, but it's based on the historic Battle of Thermopylae.
Is this all of them?
As you ordered. 300. All with born sons to carry on their name.
While Leonidas earns a personal victory in wounding Xerxes and proving his humanity, he and the rest of the 300 die in the invasion. The Spartans perished, the Persians won, and their invasion continued, which is exactly what happened in real life. However, the movie ends on an optimistic note, as the Spartans' sacrifice emboldens a massive army to fight in the Battle of Plataea. This battle went much smoother for the Greeks, and it effectively turned the tide of the Greco-Persian Wars. Number 2, The Matrix Reloaded. To set up the concluding chapter of what was initially supposed to be the Matrix trilogy, Reloaded ends on a dour note with the villains emerging victorious. The Matrix and its inhabitants seem doomed, as Neo chooses to save Trinity rather than reboot the system.
She is going to die, and there is nothing you can do to stop it.
Furthermore, Zion is on the brink of destruction, as the machines are quickly advancing on the last bastion of humanity.
5 ships were instantly down.
When the machines broke through, it wasn't a battle. It was a slaughter.
Furthermore, the Nebuchadnezzar is destroyed in a Sentinel attack. Neo falls into a coma, and Agent Smith looks to cause havoc in the real world by possessing Bane. Things certainly didn't look good for humanity, and it had everyone impatiently anticipating the next chapter. Number 1. Old Boy. Nobody really wins in this movie, but Lee Woo-jin comes closest. To get revenge for a past grievance, Woo-jin manipulates Dae-soo into falling in love with his own daughter. To enact the plan, Woo-jin had Dae-soo imprisoned for years and used a hypnotist to guide him into finding his now-grown daughter.
어디서 뵀죠?
전국 일주, 세계 일주 요리왕을 찾아라.
This is revealed in a wonderfully executed plot twist that has all the story threads horrifically falling into place. Woo-jin ends up taking his own life, but not before revealing the truth to Dae-soo and ruining his entire existence. This isn't knowledge one can live with, and Dae-soo's drooping face in the final shot proves it. FX's The Old Man premieres June 16th on FX. Stream on Hulu.